It all started with word of mouth, when stories were told by the fire, retold and altered throughout generations, and were a part of human life from the beginning on. Then came the written word. Things were written down mostly by scholars who dedicated their lives to this task of writing down stories, hours and hours on end, scriptures, pamphlets, texts, historical texts, and so on. And then came the revolution of the printing press. The printing press changed the way we consumed stories, we consumed media, and we created media. It was a whole revolution. What was the next revolution? The revolution of the radio and the TV, the moving picture. And now we are in the middle of another revolution. This is the revolution of streaming stories. Streaming is everywhere. It's prevalent in audio, it's prevalent in video with Netflix, Amazon Prime, and so on, Spotify, Stitcher, streaming in podcasts with iTunes and Apple Music. So we don't save media on devices anymore like tapes or CDs or even MP3 players. What we do instead is we stream constantly new content, and this is a revolution of something that hasn't been there before yet. And how can we as storytellers use this revolution, jump on the train, and what exactly does this mean for us? It means that storytelling has never been on such high demand as now. You have endless possibilities as a storyteller to write books, create audio content, do podcasting, do audio plays, audiobooks, write for TV, or write for blog, do copywriting, and so on and so on and so on. You have so many possibilities to create content because basically the gatekeepers are gone and you can just publish your stuff out there and reach your readers, reach your audience directly. And of course, there's also a downside to it because there is so much content out there and so many possibilities and no gatekeepers who basically tell the people, okay, this is good stuff, this is what you can read. There is so much information and people are overwhelmed. Everybody's out there, everybody wants to be heard, to be read, to be seen. So what you have to do right now is stand out from the crowd. How can you do this? You have to polarize with your art. You have to find an audience that is really niche and not be afraid to define your target audience and your target profiles. You cannot write for everybody. You have to define your niche because if you do that, you can be really specific about the people you want to reach and you can really polarize with what you do. So don't be too broad. You have to find your niche and you have to polarize with your art. You have to stand out. Having a niche also means that inevitably you have to turn people off, and that is okay. You have to accept that there are people out there who won't like you and won't like what you have to say, and this is fine. Because on the one side, you will have those people who love you and follow you and love your stuff because you are niche and because you speak exactly to those people. And all the other people, yes, they will be turned off, but this is not a problem because this is how you can stand out from the crowd if you have people that you turn off and people that you magnetize to your art. And also, in this crowded world, personality and identity are key to finding your audience. What do I mean by that? You have to stand out with your personality. You have to bring in your uniqueness, your person, your character into everything you do because this is how you become unique and can stand out from the crowd. And this is scary because basically you're putting yourself out there and you're trying to be honest and authentic, but you're also being vulnerable with that. But you have to do that. You really have to be that person, that individual, and be really open to and honest with the people and open to criticism because this is the only way you can stand out from this crowded world of streaming. Point number 3 is you have to know your craft because there are so many people out there wanting to do something, trying to write, trying to reach people. You have to be top-notch when it comes to the art and craft of storytelling. How can you do that? You have to immerse yourself into the field of writing, whatever you do, if it's copywriting or writing in a specific genre or short story or TV or whatever. You have to immerse yourself in the field and always learn and always grow in your craft. The other side of writing, of course, is practice, practice, practice. Like Margaret Atwood says, you have to get your hands dirty. There's just no way around it. You have to grab the soil and get your hands dirty, which means you have to practice writing every single day. You can only become a writer by writing. You can read a lot of stuff on writing, take courses, do this, do that, but as long as you don't write, you won't get better. You become a better writer by writing. And number 4 is you have to ride the technological innovation train. What do I mean by that? I mean that you can't complain about everything that's starting to emerge right now and starting to change. Don't complain about the changes. Instead, take them and use them for your advantage. For example, know that audio is the next big trend. So they're predicting that by 2020, 50% of the searches will be in audio, which means that you have, at least in some way, be present and findable on audio. So, for example, you could start an own podcast or show. You could, and this is the easiest way, basically, you could start and be an interview partner or another podcast. This way your name will be searchable and findable on audio. So yeah, this is the easiest way to get started with audio. Just apply to be a guest on another podcast. You can do audiobooks, you could do free readings, whatever it is that you want to do in audio. Don't forget that audio is the next big trend. In one way or the other, you have to be findable and discoverable on audio. We storytellers are unfortunately also victims of the digital overwhelm, and we're trying to do everything and be present everywhere. And this is a big mistake. What I want to advise you to do instead is find those platforms you are comfortable in and start doing them. Focus on 2 or 3 platforms and that's it. Don't try to be present on every social media platform. Have a blog, have a podcast, have a YouTube channel, write books in fiction and non-fiction and so on. You cannot do everything, because when you try to do everything, you will fail and you won't be able to deliver quality content. So instead, focus on 2 to 3 things that you really like. For example, there are some authors that really love Twitter, so they're present on Twitter, or people who love Instagram and photos, they're on Instagram. Me, for example, I'm a really bad social media author, so I really don't like engaging in social media, and this is really difficult for me. So what I try to do instead is do podcasting, do YouTube videos because I enjoy that, and of course do my writing and blogging, and just don't focus too much on social media because that's just not something I enjoy. And this is my advice: find something that you really enjoy, 2 or 3 platforms, 2 or 3 ways of communication, and then grab them and do them really, really well. Because people are so used of having things streamed, you have to know that you both need to have free and paid content. So you cannot just go in like a sleazy salesman and try to sell people something from the beginning on. You have to have great free content. You have to have great free personal communication with those people, and be aware that you might have fans who will just consume your free content, and that is fine, and that's really good as well. And you will have people who will buy stuff from you as well, but you have to have both of those. And your free content also has to be regular, and it has to be really good and really helpful for the people. So make sure it's just not just a tease of something that is not really helpful, but people have to buy something in order to get some value out of it. So please don't do that. Have valuable, great content for free, but also for paid, so that you can pay your bills. Your tribe is out there, but you have to find it by doing a lot of content marketing. I know that the field is changing right now. For example, in Amazon, that you have to, everywhere you have kind of like a pay-to-play environment. But I think content marketing won't be that for a long, long time yet. So I really advise you, write the technology train of audio, video, and so on, streaming, by producing a lot of great free content in ways that you actually enjoy. So don't pick to produce a lot of content. Like for me, I really tried to do Instagram for a long time, but I just don't enjoy that, and it's too difficult for me, so I just stopped doing it because it was just a pain. So if you produce free great content, make sure it's something that you enjoy doing as well on a platform and in a way that you really love doing. And this way, by creating this great free content, you will be able to find your tribe of people who will also buy your paid content. Don't forget to focus on a niche, like we said before, because there's so much out there and people are looking for somebody who really understands their specific problem. And don't forget to ride the technological train, do stuff in audio, do stuff in video, and also write. Practice your craft every single day, because to stand out from this crazy crowd of content that is getting even more and more, you have to be a really, really good storyteller.